Let me give you guys an introduction. Again, I hope we're saying your name right, man. We're doing the best. Meir, I believe, is how it's pronounced. But I was watching some day trading videos on YouTube. As you guys know, I like to search on the internet and always learn and always grow and figure out new things, figure out new strategies. And I was just really impressed by Meir's trading. He's very similar to our style. And honestly, I'm hoping to learn something from him today. He is a gap trader. Man, thanks so much for being here, brother. I really appreciate it. I know you're an active trader, so I'm not going to take up much of your time. I just want to say thank you for giving us all the opportunity.
I'm actually done for the day. I don't usually trade more than the first 60 to 90 minutes, so I'm actually done for the day.
There you go. Bam. That's my man. I like it. Focusing on the first 60, 90 minutes. I had another trader. His name was Rob. He was in and out. No, I'm sorry, Bob. Bob did DreamWorks. We'll be looking at DreamWorks a little bit today. But my man, tell us, this is really the first time me and you are getting a chance to chat. So again, thank you for being here. I truly do appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Just you as a person. Who are you? What kind of person are you?
I started trading. Well, let me go a little bit back than that. Well, firstly, excuse me for my English, guys. I'm not. That's not my mother tongue. I don't speak English regularly.
Oh man, you're doing great. You're doing fine.
Fine. I'll try. I'll do my best. I live in Israel, and I've been trading for the past 15 years. And I'm one of the rare people from outside the US who's trading the US for a living. And just 15 or actually 16 years ago, I discovered the US markets and decided I want to become a day trader. Before that, I was involved in the high-tech industry for quite a few years. Don't know if you guys have been there, but it's a very demanding industry. Mm-hmm. It's like you wake up early in the morning, get back late at night, and it kind of felt to me like I want to see my family a little bit more, start doing something from home. There aren't many options from working at home. One of the options is, of course, day trading. So I heard about this, wanted to become a trader, and had a little encouragement from my little daughter. I took her once to kindergarten in the morning, and it was a rare occasion because I don't usually do that. I was leaving very early in the morning, and we came to the kindergarten, and she said, "Well, Daddy, this was my kindergarten 2 years ago." So that kind of made me want to continue or changing my profession and getting actually working from home.
Sure.
And
sure.
Again, so many things you can do from home. So I decided I will become a day trader. So opened my first day trading account with a US firm. What was it then? I believe it was, what was it called? Daytech? Just before it became Merited or something.
Right.
Am I right? I think I am.
Yeah, I think so.
I had no idea it does not fit day trading. I mean, it was very slow, like 2-second execution. I thought it was very fast and so on. So I started trading that. Very quickly I moved to a better firm. I'll try to remember the name. Nevertheless, I started trading, and I started trading by myself, and I didn't acquire any education, which was a big mistake, as you probably guys know it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like losing money for the first year, almost a year. Didn't lose that much though. I was down like $7,500.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time I just came to the decision I can't do that anymore. I mean, just another walk to my wife. I'm going to deposit a little bit more money now, and so on and so on. So there was a time when I came to a decision I need to learn day trading, and I found my trading room in the US. So I joined one of the trading rooms, which turned out to be great. And this guy Chris, who was there and helped me, just taught me everything I know. But that didn't quite work enough. So I packed a suitcase, flew over to Phoenix, Arizona, knocked on his door, told him he's going to become my mentor, sat down with him for like 2 weeks. Paid a lot of money for this. Didn't come cheap, but
sure.
Anyway, it did work out. Yeah, it is a struggle, Jeremy. I mean, we all struggle in order to become traders, right?
It is, man. It is. Yeah, you're totally right. And it's I've heard of other similar stories of people doing that. Are you familiar with the trader Sami Abu-Saad? Have you heard of him? If you if you haven't, no big deal. But I'm just saying, yeah, there's a lot of other people who've done exactly that. So yeah, you're totally right, man. Education is totally key. What year was that? Do you recall that you went there? Do you remember?
2001, I believe.
Right on, man. 2001.
I started
So
in 2000.
you were there during the tech bubble. I love it.
Well, I should have enjoyed it, but I was a new trader. I mean,
Sure.
I'm still mad at myself that I didn't even try and learn before I started trading, because just maybe I could have made some money out of it. But in fact, I was losing money, which was stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a great opportunity to make money at
Right.
the time. But I certainly didn't. I lost money that time. So in fact, I came back home after 2 weeks in Phoenix, Arizona, and that didn't work out so quick also. I mean, it took me another 6 months or so to start realizing everything I learned and practicing a little bit more. And by then I was like 1.5 years into trading, and I was becoming somewhat stable.
Mm-hmm.
Took me another 6 months to start earning money, and by that time I knew I was getting to the right point. I knew I was getting there. I knew I was going to become, one day I knew I was going to become profitable. So hold on a second, I have to close the trade here.
Yeah, no problem.
Just a second, please.
Sure.
Just a second. My short in CAR just produced some money.
That's so funny.
Got
One
it.
of my buddies just texted me the same thing, man. I'm so serious. I wish I could show you, but yeah, one of my buddies, Blake, says that he was just hopping back in on CAR. So good job, man.
Well, you know what? It just moved me from red to green. So I didn't have a good day today, seriously. I mean, like 10 minutes ago, I was, or 30 minutes ago, I was still in red.
Mm-hmm.
And CAR just moved me to green.
Great, man.
Which
Beautiful.
is a great thing, because I just didn't have a good day today, really, seriously. Not a good day, but finally in green, so...
Well, let me
I'm good
tell
with
you.
that.
Let me tell you first of all. That's what made me like you immediately. Is I was watching again some of your videos, and I don't know how much you know about me and my background, but I don't like fraudsters, if you will. So on YouTube, and this, there are literally countless people who are just I made 10 grand this day, 10 grand this day, 10 grand this day. Here's my Ferrari, on and on and on. But I opened your first YouTube channel video, and the very first trade you took, you were down like 1,000, and you were talking about it, and you're very calm. You're like, I'm losing on the trade. I know I'm losing on the trade. I love the trade that I took. I'm not worried about it. Let's see if I can get back into the green. Very simple, very calm, very focused. You weren't freaking out. I was like, I like this guy. So just throwing that out there, man. That's what you got to be. You got to be humble, man. The market humbles us.
Well, it's not a game where everybody makes money. It's a game where most of the people are losing money, in fact, and having losing days, which are plenty, of course, that's part of the game. That certainly is a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody's trying to hide that, that's stupid. I mean, that's just not true.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's you're totally right, man.
So, just get back to the story. So,
Sure.
after 2 years, I left my job, which, by the way, you could still keep your day job in Israel because market opens at 4:30 p.m. So you could day trade in the evening and still keep your day job, which is great, by the way, because you can practice and you can come to the point where you finally feel like you're stable and then leave your day job, which is something that you guys in the States can't do. So in fact, that was great. And at that point, even though I was still kind of stable, getting a little bit into green territory, I knew I was going to get into green, and that I started making serious money probably after 3 years or so.
Yeah.
And when I say serious money, by the way, that was like living money, okay? Don't
Right,
get
of
me
course.
wrong. It's not just like
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
not getting rich or something. It's not.
That's all the money that matters, man. Living
Yeah.
money. Yeah. Can you eat? I'm with you. That's about the same time frame for me. It was about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, because people think that sometimes I get new students, something like that, and he would probably say something like, "Well, I heard it's a very hard business. Most people don't make it, and yeah, I know. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to succeed. That's good. I mean, when a person talks like that, I mean, it always shows that he wants to succeed, and that's great. But then the second question may be something, okay, but how much do you think I'm going to earn after 6 months, let's say?
Yeah.
When I hear this question, I know this guy is doomed. Like, he's not going to make it, right? I mean, you gotta be in this game for years until you make money sometimes. I mean, I did know some people who were making money after 6 months or so, but that's extremely rare. Extremely rare. By the way, just like any profession, you don't become a good lawyer until you practice for a few years or so, right? I mean, so anyway.
Absolutely, man. No, you're spot on.
When I started making money, when I started making money, this is where I also decided I could teach some people.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened one of the rare outside US trading schools, and I still have this school, and we are actually teaching approximately 2,000 non-US day traders every year.
Right on, man.
So it's quite a successful school, and we're doing great. And in the years, of course, during these years, I become better and better. And well, people ask me if I got rich from day trading. The answer is no. I got rich really seriously, and excuse me for saying that because I don't really like to get into this, but people usually ask me these kind of questions, and I'm just going to answer it before somebody else asks me here in this room. Mainly, I got rich from real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
But my money in real estate, my early money in real estate, like 6-8 years ago, came from day trading. So my first few $100,000, which I started investing wisely after the crash in 2008 mainly, was in real estate. So I did very well in real estate. Day trading is still kind of living. I show my account, people, I don't mind showing it to anybody. I mean, I'm trading every day with hundreds of traders, and they see my account, they see my P&L, they see everything. And I am making money day trading, but I'm not getting rich after day trading. And that's one of the reasons where I decided I will only trade the first 1 or 1.5 hours. I enjoy trading, but it's not my main income anymore.
Mm-hmm. Understand.
So I have other sources of income, but I love day trading, and I still keep on doing that every day. And it's another nice source of income. And again, I'm not getting rich. Probably my best years since 2008, which was a great year, was 2015, just the year that we ended up with this nice crash in August, which turned out to be amazingly good. And so 2015 was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
2016 starts very well too. And when the volatility rocks, we are doing well as traders.
Sure.
But we're still fighting. Every day is a fight.
Every day is a fight, man. You're absolutely right.
That's my history.
Yeah.
Dude,
thanks so much for the update.
I did write a book about day trading, so if you guys want to spend $2.99, there you go.
Boom. Books. Thank you. Let me open this. So here's the link. That's you right there, man. Good looking guy.
That's
all right.
Well, that was 5 years ago, but I believe I'm getting even better.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. We always love reading here. So man, thanks for sharing that book. I'm sure some people will pick it up. Here's a quick question for you. So let me just kind of hop into the trading part now. Let's just really get into the groove.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you do focus purely on gaps. You trade stock. I know you do some proprietary trading as well, which I'm very familiar with as well. What's your go-to like time frame or your signals, or just what do you want to talk about? I mean, again, me and you have pretty similar styles. If you're trading car, a lot of us were trading car today bearish. So again, I think we can pick up on that. But what allured you to this particular gap? What did you see about it? What did you like about it? What are your thoughts?
Well, firstly, I like movers. I like big movers, of course. I mean, we all do, of course. So if you trade the first hour, or I would say most of my trades are probably finished by the first 30 minutes or so, then you would look for gap trading. That would probably be the biggest movers. Now there's gap ups, there are gaps downs, so you probably would like to concentrate on one of them. As I believe, it's not easy to set up. To master a strategy. In fact, one of the traders once told me, you can always learn this, you can never master it. And this is so true in trading. So if you develop your own system, let's say you develop a system of trading, shorting gap downs, okay? Which I do, by the way. So if you develop this system, then you have to really learn all about it, and during the years, in fact, master it as much as you can. You will never get to the point where you truly master it. So if you start to develop things like gap downs and gap ups and reversals and breakdowns and breaks up, that's just too much, to my opinion. It's just too much. So if you concentrate on something, like I concentrate on gap downs which are bigger than 3%. If I concentrate on gap downs bigger than 3%, then and I learn how to do that well, then I could probably get as close as possible to the point where I master it. So yeah, gap downs of bigger than 3%. Now, these gap downs they have their own kind of life, let's call it this way. Usually, you probably know, you could read it in trading books, you could read it in my book. Usually gaps close, meaning if you see gap down, you could look for the gap to close. It would probably move up, but that's true for gaps which are somewhere at the range of 1 or 2 or 2 point something percent. That is not true for gaps which are more than 3%, because gaps over 3% tend to behave, trying to intensify fear and greed and so many things. And when you take a look also at institutional traders, they would usually hesitate in, like, for example, buying more, or let's call it averaging down their losses, or maybe adding to a winning trade which is gapping down also. They would probably wait a few days until they make a decision. And so most of the let's call it power would be on the way down. Now, I look very specific move, and if you could show me Carl today on a 1 minute scale,
sure,
which I usually trade in the first 30 minutes or so. Okay, great. Now, today I shorted Carl under $25. My entry was under $25, and it was probably I was watching two trades. One was Carl, I can't remember what was the second one. Was it low? Yeah, I guess. I had 2 losing trades in low today, which drove me into red territory after a great trade in Carl, but nevertheless,
sure,
Carl worked out fine.
Sure.
So I was looking for Carl to short under 25. Well, what do I look for in a trade? I always look for a stock to gap down, and Carl, was it down like earlier? I think was 10%. How much is down now?
Yeah, it's 26% right now. I think it was at 18 or something like that earlier this morning.
Did it start at 10 or something? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Okay, so I was looking at Carl, and what I would like to see, and if I don't see, I don't usually take it. There are some other systems, but what I like to see, and this is something that you guys can follow, and it's very simple strategy. Really seriously, it's very simple strategy. I look for the stock to move up. I don't want it to gap and continue down. I always look for it to move up. I would like to see those who start averaging down the trade, or those who think it would move into closing the gap because they read some technical analysis book or something, which is stupid, of course. I would like to see them failing. And if I don't see them failing, I don't get into the trade. It's as simple as that. So if Carl would have started on a red candle and moved down, and I would need to chase the price lower, I would just not take this trade. That's it. Very simple. Now, guys, this strategy is working great for me, believe me, for years now. Okay, so just look for stocks that start on a gap down as more as possible from 3%. I mean, 3% is great, but if you get 4, 5, 6, 10 like Carl, that's even better because emotions are of course higher. And if you take a look at that, find the simplest reversal point. Well, it's never that simple because it's more like knowing the rules is great, but in fact in day trading you don't really make money from knowing the rules. You make money by knowing the exceptions. So there are so many exceptions that you need to master, but in fact
very true.
Looking for a reversal is not that simple as it probably looks to me right now, because I know that a lot of people are really struggling with that. So looking for a short under 25 was the point I decided I would get into this trade, and 25 also is a very important point because it's a whole number, and usually you would see a lot of buyers at whole numbers. So it moved down 25. Once it moved down, it initially moved lower, then popped up a little bit, which of course my stop would have been over the highs, worst case scenario, probably before that, and well, happily enough continued moving lower after a short while. So Carl worked out great. Now again, I'm looking to see the stock gapping down, moving up. Initially I would like to see those who are averaging down their losses, those who think that it would move into the gap. I would like to see them buying. If they don't buy, if it starts moving down initially, just out of the gate like that, I will not chase the price down, because there's a very, very big chance that it will reverse very early, and once it reverses, you never know where your stop is going to be. So it could move like points away from your entry and put you in a big loss. But if it does move up and you do find a nice reversal in stocks like this, and I promise you're going to find at least 1, 2, or 3 trades like this every day. So I'm not missing any trades. So once you find something that looks like that, try and find a place where you could short it, or at the reversal, find the right reversal point. Of course, have the right stop, and just follow it down.
Absolutely.
And this was just an amazingly nice trade.
It was. So question, do you mentioned stops, do you use hard stops, or do you use mental stops, or do you hide your positions from the market makers, or what's your take on that?
Oh, well, let me get into this. Well, firstly, I'm not a US resident, which means I could and I can and I do trade CFD platforms. Are you guys familiar with CFD platforms?
I am, but the majority of us aren't. So let's fill us in, Meir.
Okay. Well, CFD platforms are like, let's call it bucket shops, okay? Where you don't really trade the underlying stock. You trade the price as if you trade the stock. Well, your broker will in fact manage the risk in the real market, but I don't care about that. Like, for example, if I would short car under $35, I will not have slippage. No slippage. Immediate, just lightning speed executions. No short-term restrictions, 20-1 margin. I only usually have $50,000 in my account, and I'm trading $1 million. So I'm not a US resident. That gives me the opportunity to use CFD platforms. Everybody outside the US is actually looking for CFD platforms and not real stock live platforms. You guys are in the US, you need to trade stock platforms, because if you don't buy the underlying stocks, then nobody's going to make, companies can't raise money if you don't do that. So it makes sense for you guys to trade the stocks. It doesn't make sense for me to trade the stock. I don't need to go into any trading restrictions, no PDT rules, no shorting restrictions, no slippage, no nothing. Seriously, traders' dream come true.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, familiar.
In fact,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's just huge. So I'm not trading the stocks themselves. But what was the question?
No, that's okay. So I was just saying. So in regards to the to like stop placements, do you use hard stops, mental stops?
Oh, the hard stops. Right. The hard stops. So no, I don't use hard stops. The only time I use hard stop is when I have like my quarter size or less than that left. So if I'm concentrating on a stock movement, I will not use hard stops. I would move in and out, and I would manually control my stops, which in let's say 99%, maybe a little bit less than that, works great. There's a certain amount of percent that it doesn't work that great. That could be a big move that sometimes takes you out of the game, and you lose a little bit more than you expected. And it actually happened to me 2 days ago. I can't remember the stock name, but it did happen to me. But it is kind of rare. So in most of the time, if you have a big move and an immediate pullback and you don't move out because the price moved against you too quick, that's usually advisable to stay in stock and continue waiting for a pullback, and it usually would return either lower or higher. So the fact is, not having hard stop in the system helps me. I'm sure about it. If 1 out of 10 trades I will lose a little bit more than I expected, that's tough. That's part of the game. I will lose a little bit more, but in other 9 cases, most of them, I would earn a little bit more than I would if I had a hard stop. So I don't usually have a hard stop. But if I'm getting into a second, third, fourth trade, usually not at the same time before I take a partial, because I always, when I take a trade, I always have, let me tell you this because I didn't mention that, I always have at least 1-to-1 risk reward ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds a little bit small to you guys. I mean, to most really it sounds maybe not right, because usually you would learn that you need to have more than 1-to-1. That's the way I'm working. I'm working on a 1-to-1 if I'm making it and I'm getting to squeeze a little bit more than 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1. By the way, car was just amazingly good today. I got much more than 1-to-1 in car today, but I'm at least trying to get 1-to-1 risk reward, and then I manually manage that. And once I get to the partial point where I usually sell at least 3/4, I mean covering, in this case it's a short, I buy 3/4, then I'm just managing my last quarter or so,
Sure.
Usually less than a quarter in fact. I'm managing my last quarter or so with stop losses, with hard stops, because it's more likely that I would probably get into my second or third trade soon, and I just can't manage the smaller parts. But in that case, the stop would be quite far away, and I could use hard stop in that way.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. Zane has a few questions. Do you use, or do you have a minimum volume requirement of any kind of stock that you trade, or anything that you look for in regards to gaps? Like, do you do any kind of OTC or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I never trade stocks that don't have at least 1 million shares a day volume. It is quite easy to see at the beginning of the trading day that it's going to go over 1 million or so. 1 million would be my lowest possible size. Usually it would be several millions. So it will be very rare if I trade a stock that is anywhere between 1 to 2 million, but that may happen. Usually several millions. Like if you get a gap down like 3% or more, you'll have millions, right? I mean, it's just all over the place. Everybody's watching it, everybody's trading it, either getting in or out. So usually I don't have a problem with volume.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. Do you? What's your take on level 2 data? And I know you use that, but do you do anything with price ladders or any kind of APIs or anything of that nature?
No, I use level 2. I mean, level 2 is very important, of course. I don't, I use level 2, but I'm not like concentrating on level 2, because a lot of the information you get on level 2 is just not right. I mean, it's sometimes even there to distract you. So in fact, there are sometimes when you take a look at the level 2 and you know the data is right and you could count on it and you could make money out of seeing more sellers or more buying coming in. So level 2 is very important in some cases. You need to know when, where, and how to trust it.
Sure. All right, that makes sense. Right on, man. Anything else you think you want to share with anyone else in the room? Any other ideas or thoughts that you might have, or just something that you've learned from in the past in your trading career?
Well, just just a simple fact that that trading is something you learn over the years, and the more you trade, the better you get. I would usually suggest traders to just, take a look at their past trading years, and as long as you guys feel, because I'm without asking you guys, I know probably several of you guys are, already there making money, but I'm sure there are still a lot of people here in the room that are struggling, and I don't have to ask the question, it's always like this. But in fact, what I suggest is you just take a look at your previous year always, and if it's your first 1 or 2 years, take a look at the last 2 or 3 months, and always ask yourself the question, did I get better? Like, if I'm trading for 2 years, was my last 3 months better than what was before that? And if your answer is positive, just continue on, because if you're always getting better, you'll get to the point where you can make money regularly from trading, and it's just the world's best profession, to my opinion. It will be a shame not getting to the point where you can make money regularly by trading stocks. But always look back just behind your shoulder and ask yourself, did my last year, like if you're trading for 3 or 4 years, was better than the year before that, or did my last just 3 months or so was better? If the answer is yes, continue. If the answer is no, have a second thought about that. Now, it doesn't matter if you lose more money than you lost in the previous 3 months. No, seriously, it's not about money. It's about your feeling. It's about, because you could have just one bad day. And if you have just one bad day in a month that took all your income away, that's just because your discipline is wrong, and that's something you can work on, and you could get better by being more disciplined and so on. So just concentrate on the last few months and always ask yourself, did I get better? If the answer is yes, just keep on going. Guys, keep on going.
Great advice.
It's an amazingly good profession.
Yeah, great advice, man. All right, well, let me be a devil's advocate for a random second. Do you think that there are people or personalities that are just unable to trade? Are there people out there who just can't do it, or can everyone truly trade? They just have to break through some kind of mental barrier or psychological barrier, or are there just people who just can't do it? What do you think on that?
In the last 10 years, I educated my school, actually, not myself. I was involved in the early years. I'm less involved now, but we educated probably 20,000 traders or more. At the beginning, I was like taking a look at a person, having a chat with him, and trying to come out to a decision whether this guy is going to make it or not. And, for a few years, really. So I was like trying to figure out the person and see if he has it or he doesn't have it, to my opinion. And then years later, I came to a conclusion that I was so many times wrong about this that I just stopped doing that. And the interesting part is, really, I found out you can't tell. Really, you can't tell. You meet those guys who are, like, let's call them the gamblers. Mm-hmm. The ones that, once you finish, let's say you visit Vegas and you sit by the table and this guy is just playing hundreds dollars of chips while you're still trading, but you're playing your $20 or so. Yeah. That's me, the one with the $20, okay? Now the one beside me, you take a look at him and you say, wow, this guy's a gambler. Now you meet this guy and he starts day trading or something like this, and then you would say he's gonna lose everything. And not really, because sometimes these guys have much more discipline than the ones who are trading the $20 chips. And so at first I thought these guys were going to lose, and then I thought this type or that type is not going to make it. The only ones I see problem with, the only ones I still have problem with, is the guys who are very technical in their approach. Like, I was speaking in a conference a few days ago, and the guy just first of all, he asked me a question. And I turned back to him, and just after he asked the question, I asked him, are you by any chance an engineer? Yeah, I said, yeah, I'm an electric, and so you know, you get the type of thing from the question. Like, this guy needs to have an answer of black or white. He needs it. I mean, he lives by it. He makes his living from black and white. He has no gray areas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you must have gray areas while you're trading. It's not black or white. You must come to a point where you realize that trading is 50% technical and 50% art. It's a work of art. And if you don't have this artistic feeling, you can't make it in trading. So either you develop that or you just don't have it. Now, if you don't have it and you always look for the right entry, like the exact entry, the exact cent, these guys need to know exactly, should I move exactly at this point or in or out? Well, it's like a feeling. You take a look at the chart, and really, seriously, guys, I may sound like a crazy person to you guys, but the fact is, charts talk to me. Do you believe what I'm saying?
I do,
now?
yeah,
When I
totally.
take a look at the charts. You do?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I call it intuition, and I was saying, and you're one of them. Just throwing that out there. I've mentioned that there are people out there in the world who I think are way better intuition traders than I am, because I've only been doing it. I've only been trading Meir about 7 or 8 years, give or take. So I'm still getting to the level of you guys who've been in the 15 year route and just crushing it. And the intuition, when you look at a chart, you just have that feeling. You just say, this is what I want to do. I can't really explain why, but this is what's about to happen. Like, I was looking at car on the 1 minute, like it's just about to pop. And again, I have no reason why. There's no indicator. There's nothing that will tell you that other than just looking at it and saying to myself, yep, we're about to bounce on the 1. And I'm with you, man. I totally agree.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at the charts. I know if you've seen the movie The Matrix, I mean, it's like The Matrix, really, seriously. I'm taking a look at the charts, and I have the feeling, like the inner feeling, I'm really looking at the Matrix. Like, for example, if you take a look at car right now, could you point out car in like, let's say, 1 minute candles?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Let me hop over here to the 1. Here you go.
Okay, great, thank you. Like, if I take a look at car right now, and I will try to think if it's going to go up or down. You know what I do? Now, you're gonna lock me for this, but listen.
All right.
I'm actually asking Carl, where do you want to go? Seriously, I'm in my mind, okay? I'm looking at Carl right now, and I'm asking, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Now, they will never answer, but the answer really I'm getting from Carl, for example, right now, it's telling me, I don't know. So is there any reason for me right now to get into car, either short or long? Absolutely no. Why? Because he told me, I don't know. It's gonna make a decision. It just maybe move up, it's maybe gonna move down, but take a look at the previous, let's say, 30, 40 minutes or so. Does it really know where it's, well, actually 1 hour, does it really know where it's wanna go? I mean, just nothing, just doesn't know. So in fact, ask them, really,
yeah.
Seriously.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It does sound a little crazy, but I'm on board with you, because if you're looking at a trade and you're thinking to yourself, what's it gonna do? And if you look at it and you don't know immediately, then you probably shouldn't take it, because if you don't look at a trade and you can't say this is what it's doing, then you're probably going to force whatever trade that you do end up taking. It's something that that level of intuition definitely takes time, but you're spot on, man. It's something that I try to emphasize as often as possible. I call it the 2-second rule. If you can look at a trade in 2 seconds and say, this is the trend, this is what it's doing, then that's the direction you should take the trade.
Right.
You have like 2 seconds, and if you can't come up with it in 2 seconds, then you probably don't know. And if you don't know, the stock doesn't know. And if you don't know, don't trade, because you're going to lose money.
Very good point. I have to remember this, really. That was a very good point.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Well, that was man, I'm sure a lot of people resonate with that. That was a really, really good explanation, and I think that's I think that's fantastic. So you're in and out in the first 90 minutes. You hit on a lot of things that we talk about too, Meir, about we call the company real life trading, because as you mentioned, there are other parts of trading and other parts of income that we're always focused on. Angie, the lady that you've been dealing with over the few days when she was setting up your links, she's kind of my real estate guru. So she does trade, not nearly as actively as I do, but she trades, she loves trading, she loves the market, but she's more into the real estate, renting, buying, flipping, that type of thing. That's kind of her thing. So, in September every year, we have real estate month where we focus on traders and real estate and how they can, take some of their capital gains and move it over to housing or whatever, that kind of thing.
Nice,
and,
nice.
Yeah, you're spot on, man. I mean, it's a big conglomeration of everything. And traders, yeah, you can make, like you mentioned, serious money. Serious money is money just to eat with, in my world, in trading. You make the money to eat. But over time, you can build it up and start setting things aside to do other things with, create other streams of income, pay off debts, lower your stress level, and through that you should be able to trade just a little bit better.
That's absolutely true. I don't think, we all know these people who are making millions of dollars in trading. Well, I didn't really meet many or at all. Maybe it's stories, maybe it's not, maybe it's true. I believe it is. I mean, there must be people who are making millions of dollars in trading. But that's not me, guys. My average year is approximately $200,000, okay, in profits after paying my commissions and things like that. In 15, I made more like 300,000, which was great. But and maybe this year too. I don't know. It's starting well, but who knows what's coming next. That's not being a multi-millionaire from trading. If you really want to make it, well, I guess real estate.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's very true. Do you do any swing trading, Meir, or are you just purely just in and out on the daily level?
Yeah, I do swing trading. And if you guys want to watch my YouTube channel, there's a weekly video with swing trades that I upload every week when I take my 2 picks every week, and it's working nicely. So that's
you
part
right
of
here,
what
right?
I do. Although that's by the way, that's my YouTube channel if you guys want to watch this. So there's a weekly video where I upload 2 of my swing picks every week, and you'll be interested in that. But I would say probably 80% or more from my income comes from day trading. Swing is nice, but most of my earnings are from day trading, not from swing trading. But I do like it. I mean, you can't be just one-dimensional in trading. You need to have few dimensions.
Sure.
One of them is swing trading. I don't do investing though in stocks. That I tried to do that years ago. I always failed.
Gotcha, man. That's awesome info. One last question, and we'll send you on your way, buddy. So Eric has a really good question. So he says, you have a preference for short bearish gaps. Me, by the way, too. That's what I say why I like you so much, man. We just have the very, very similar thought process in trading. Do you have any advice for those who prefer to go bullish, or sometimes it's not a preference, it's just that their country, right? Some people in Canada, they have, depending on their account and their broker, of course, they might have restrictions about going bearish. So what advice do you have for bullish traders in regards to gaps or day trades?
Well, firstly, if you're in Canada, you could trade the same platform as I do. You could use the CFD platform. You're allowed to do so, by the way, if you're Canadians. So no restrictions there, 20-1 margin and so on. Anyway, you're talking about ETFs and stuff like that. I don't do them.
Gotcha. So you're
That
just
right.
so you focus purely on bearish trades. Is that pretty much right? That's your mastery.
I do some longs. That would probably be like 20% of my trades would be long on the long side. Like for example, I am long right now Mobileye, MBLY, and in fact I'm going to sell some right now, which took me deep into green territory today. after being in red, but took Mobileye 26.45 or so.
26.45.
By the way,
Let's
Mobileye
see. So
was
you took
one
it
of my
right about there, bullish, right above that resistance.
Mobileye was one of my short candidates for the day. Okay, it was one of my short candidates for the day. And one exception that you need to know about shorting stocks that are down, I think it was like 6% down, I'm not sure. But take a look at the way it started today, okay? So it did go up, as I mentioned earlier. If you could point the first 5 minutes or so.
Sure.
So as you can see, it did go up, but one big exception you should take a look at is the momentum, because it started up with a lot of momentum. So when you see a stock gapping down more than 3% and starts up with a lot of momentum, and of course, I know I'm saying a lot of momentum. Some of you guys may be a little bit, early to your trading years, and you don't really follow exactly what is a strong momentum, what is not. Well, can't tell you right now, sorry, but that's hard to tell. Not can't tell, but when you see this strong upside momentum, don't try and look for the short side. By the way, you can see that under $26, I was hesitating whether I should take it short. You can see the first drop down, pulled back, yes, exactly there, under $26. So one of the guys I'm trading asked me whether I should short it under 26, and I said no way. It's just uptrending so strong. I'm looking for a long, which by the way could have been a very nice trade because it moved down all the way down 1 point to $25. But you never know how far it can move down, and in fact, as you can see, it's moving up with the market, by the way. So I was looking for a long, and I took it long at 26. I wanted to take it long at 26.40. I got it, in fact, no, I got it long at 26.41. I thought a little bit higher than that. So I took it long. I waited quite a long time, but small quantity, and waited for it to move higher, and it finally did, as you can see here. I just sold some.
Awesome, man. What time did you get into the 26.41? Did you get in around here? Well, would have been around here somewhere, or did
I'll tell you
break
exactly. Let me go through my trades.
Yeah, no problem.
I can tell you in a second. Where did I get into? I think it was earlier than you pointed out. It wasn't that nice as the one you. 9:56 and 44 seconds. What was at 9:56?
Is that Eastern, do you know, or Central?
What was it? Eastern, 9:56.
Eastern. Okay, so that's 8:56 my time. 8:56, right about there. Got it. Right about there. So it pulled back, broke through.
So
that,
I was wet for a short while though.
Sure, I understand.
But when you get into a trade. When you get into a trade like when it failed to move, when it moved to 25 and then kicked back to that point, I knew it's gonna go higher. I knew. Like if you asked like if you asked Mobileye at that point, where do you want to go? It would definitely tell you, I want to go higher. I want to go higher. Now, when you take a trade like this, after the first 30 minutes or so, and I don't take it full size. I usually would take it like quarter size, and then in fact I added later. I don't know exactly when, but I added a little bit later, and when I was definitely sure it's going to continue moving up, and so it went sideways for a while, and then the market moved up, and that was probably lucky. And Mobileye, which I believe initially wanted to continue higher today, continued higher. So that was, in fact, quite nice.
Right on, man. Well, great trade, dude. Great trade.
Any questions I missed?
There's a few in there, but like I said, I've had you about an hour. I really appreciate your time, man. What's your if someone does have more questions for later on, how could they get a hold of you?
Just email me, guys. I'm always available. I mean, I'll be very happy to answer. No problem.
Right on, man. Throw your email in there. Appreciate your time very much, man. Thanks so much for being here. Do you have any questions for me before I send you on your way, or we can just chat via email, or what you got?
No, I was actually listening to the person before you. Was it Brad? I'm not sure.
Brad. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard him manage the room for a short while, and No, just a remark. It seems like a very fun room you guys having here. I mean, it seems like a happy place to be in.
Happy place to be in. I can take that as words of encouragement, a positive thing, man. Thanks so much, brother. I really, really appreciate it. Me and you will keep in contact.